Hello and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal, and you're watching the Mojo Story. Iran has retaliated and attacked Israel. Now, in a barrage of missiles and drones that were launched on Israel from its territory in Iran. Now, this was anticipated that Iran will attack Israel for a couple of days since uh, Israel attacked Iranian consulate in Damascus in Syria, in which Iranian Revolutionary Guards, including two generals, were killed. And in retaliation to that, Iran has carried out this strike on Israel. Now, uh, Israel has in fact confirmed that Iran carried out those strikes using drones and missiles, but all of them were intercepted by the Israeli air defense system, and that attack was foiled. Now, according to reports, 200 drones and cruise missiles were fired on Israel. Now, this is what could lead to a wider war in this region. Of course, there are other neighboring countries of Israel, like Jordan. The air defense system of Jordan is also said to have taken down some of those drones that were launched by Iran on to Israel. Now, there was a tense sort of a relation between Israel and Iran since the war erupted on October 7 last year, when Hamas carried out those attacks inside Israel, and that was followed by an Israeli attack on Gaza to eliminate the Hamas. But this is for the first time that there is a direct confrontation between Israel and Iran. The West has been solidly behind Israel. America has, in fact, reiterated that it's an ironclad support to Israel that America is giving, and we're getting also many statements from the West. In fact, a statement by President Joe Biden, which says after this attack, he had a telephonic conversation with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and now in this statement, Joe Biden has said earlier today, Iran and its proxies operating off Yemen, Syria, and Iraq launched an unprecedented air attack against military facilities in Israel. I condemn these attacks in the strongest possible terms. At my direction, to support the defense of Israel, the US military moved aircraft and ballistic missile defense destroyers to the region over the course of the past week. Thanks to these developments and the extraordinary skill of our service members, we helped Israel take down nearly all of the incoming drones and missiles. I have spoken with Prime Minister Netanyahu to reaffirm America's ironclad commitment to the security of Israel. I told him that Israel demonstrated a remarkable capacity to defend against and defeat even unprecedented attacks, sending a clear message to its foes that they cannot effectively threaten the security of Israel. Tomorrow, I will convene my fellow G7 leaders to coordinate a united diplomatic response to Iran's brazen attack. My team will engage with their counterparts across the region and will stay in close touch with Israel's leaders. And while we have not seen attacks on our forces or facilities today, we'll remain vigilant to all threats and will not hesitate to take all necessary action to protect our people. Now, that was the statement of the American president. Of course, condemning the attack, Iran attack on Israel. But this was much anticipated that this could happen, and that's precisely the reason that India had also put out an advisory for its citizens in Iran and Israel. Now, a fresh statement has come from India, from the MEA, which says we are seriously concerned at the escalation of hostilities between Israel and Iran, which threatens the peace and security in the region. We call for immediate de escalation, exercise restraint, stepping back from violence, and return to the path of diplomacy. We are closely monitoring the evolving situation. Our embassies in the region are in close touch with Indian community It's vital that security and stability are maintained in the region. That's the statement coming from India. And also, we got a statement from Iran, the permanent mission of Iran to UN, um, which says that conducted on the strength of Article 51 of the UN Charter pertaining to legitimate defense, Iran's military action was in response to the Zionist regime's aggression against our diplomatic premises in Damascus. The matter can be deemed concluded. However, should the Israeli regime make another mistake, the Iran's response will be considerably more severe. So these are the some of the reactions that are coming in. The question is, what happens now? Will Israel go up the escalation ladder? Will they counter this by a counter strike on Iran, or will this be just seen as Israel's gesture, as Israel's posturing after the attack? Although most of these drones and these missiles have been taken down, that's also busting the myth that drones are very capable in modern warfare, but most of them have been taken down. But if Israel launch the counterstrike on Iran, then the things might even escalate further. And this could involve other countries in the region as well. But clearly, this is a major turn to the events that started when Hamas carried out strikes inside Israel and took hostage into Gaza. And since then, we've seen an ongoing operation by Israel in Gaza to eliminate Hamas and to get back those hostages. But this is for the first time that a major country, Iran, has directly entered into a confrontation. Now, Iran has said that its consulate in Damascus, which was attacked by Israel, is an attack on Iran itself, because it says that any consulate or a diplomatic mission is considered as a soil and property of that country. So, if that attack was carried out on Israeli consulate, it is deemed as an attack on the Iranian consulate. It's deemed as an attack on Iran itself. And that is what Iran was responding to by carrying out those attacks. So we're seeing statements coming from the Western powers, US, UK, Germany, all have given out statements. But Israel has also asked its citizens who were earlier asked to go into protective zones to come out and to start with their daily business. Now, the thing is that how is Israel going to respond, and what prompted Iran to carry out these strikes? They would have factored in the retaliation that can come from Israel. Now, one of the reasons is that the regime in Iran was under considerable pressure from the people to carry out a strike on Israeli interests, and also for the Revolutionary Guard who have been giving out that impression to the people that they are strong and they are capable of retaliation, and also the message to the West and to Israel that we have the capability to strike inside Israel if need be. Although the attack, according to Israel, has been foiled, but Iran showed the capability that they can do it. But what happens next? All eyes on Israel. How is Israel going to respond? Israel has said that any country or any entity which harms it, Israel is going to hit back. And now we're going to see what is going to be the Israeli response. If Israeli response is not a military response directly on Iranian interests, then perhaps there is scope of de-escalation. But if Israel carries out a direct strike on Iran, then there could be more escalation and more countries who can get involved in this conflict. But for now, this conflict has taken a serious dimension. It's got even more complex, with Iran entering into the conflict and directly attacking, launching an attack on the Israeli territory with those drones, 200 drones, and missiles which were foiled by Israel, according to the Israeli Defense Forces, which say that they are ready to protect and to defend Israel and its people. So, just to recap for our viewers, days after Israel carried out a strike in Damascus on an Israeli Iranian consulate that led to casualties and also the death of a couple of generals and members of the uh, Iranian Defense Force. Iran has carried out a retaliatory strike on Israel with the help of drones and missiles. Reports say 200 of them were launched on the Israeli territory, but they were successfully intercepted by the defense systems of Israel and its allied countries, and they were taken down. So Iran had vowed to strike back, and they have carried out that attack. It was widely anticipated whether they would do that on the missions of Israel in other countries, or they will carry out the strike right on the Israeli territory. But they have chosen to carry out that attack on the Israeli territory, and now Israel says that it has foiled that attack. But how is the West has already said that it solidly stands behind Israel, and they have condemned Iranian action. But President Joe Biden had said, he had famously said, don't, when he was asked that if Iran would conduct those attacks. But Iran has done that. Now, how is America going to respond? Whether that retaliation, if at all, Israel carries out, will be done only by Israel or from the military facilities of US in the Gulf, that could add another dimension to this war. And how is the retaliation going to be if Israel chooses to carry out a stronger action, military action on Iran and its interests? Then there could be further escalation. But if Israel chooses not to do that, then we can expect some sort of a de-escalation. But for now, there are statements that are coming from across the world. In fact, India has also reacted, and a statement has been issued which says we are seriously concerned at the escalation of hostilities between Israel and Iran, which threatens the peace and security in the region. We call for immediate de escalation, exercise of restraint, stepping back from violence, and return to the path of diplomacy. We're closely monitoring the evolving situation. Our embassies in the region are in close touch with Indian community. It is vital that security and stability are maintained in the region. Now, this statement from India coming days after it issued an advisory, and it asked its citizens, both in Iran and Israel, uh, uh, not uh, to be cautious, and that in fact also impacted 6,000 construction workers which are headed to Israel after a shortage of construction workers there. But clearly, this war has got more complicated with Israel and Iran in a direct confrontation. Now, this happened after Israel struck on a consulate, Iranian consulate in Damascus, that led to casualties. And today there was this retaliation from Iran in the shape of drones and missiles that were fired at Israeli territory, which have been mostly brought down, according to the IDF and according to the information that's coming from Israel. But clearly, whether this will escalate the situation more, and or the situation would get de-escalated, that is the big question. The coming few hours, the coming few days are going to be very crucial, as this war that started with the attack of Hamas inside Israel continues to escalate and involve other regional powers, as Israel continues with its mission to dismantle Hamas from Gaza. Of course, we'll keep a close track of this situation. But thanks so much for joining us, and for watching the Mojo story. We'll keep updating as the situation develops. Thanks so much.
Mojo Story has always made a commitment to its viewers to go to where the story is. And as you can see here, we are at the epicenter of the Israel war on Gaza. We are right at the front line, about 1 mile from the Gaza Strip, as the Israeli military gets ready with its tanks and its gunners to begin its final frontal assault that will take troops into Gaza. As we said, we are not like other organizations. We believe in giving you all sides of the story objectively and as much as possible from the ground. And that's exactly what we're doing here, covering the biggest global story today from the epicenter of the war zone. So please, we need your support. Support us, become a Mojo member, subscribe to us, spread the word, and thank you for your support.